Hi, I'm Angie. Today I'm going to share a recipe for one of my all-time favorite cakes, coconut cake. And the funny thing is it's actually a Weight Watcher recipe, so even though the new points calculation puts it at 8 points for one slice, which is a tenth of the cake, it's still really delicious, and it doesn't even matter that it's a Weight Watcher recipe. All the ingredients are just normal everyday things you get in the grocery store. There's nothing diet about it, and it's so delicious. So let's get started. The first thing I've done is preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and I've greased a 9-inch cake pan, and that's only one cake pan. You're going to actually make the layers by cutting one cake in half, so you only need one pan. Now I'm going to combine the dry ingredients. I've got 1.5 cups of cake flour this time. Usually I use all-purpose flour, but this recipe calls for cake flour. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder and just 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Just whisk those together, and I'll set that aside. I've also got 1/3 of a cup of low-fat buttermilk, and in this bowl I've got 2 large eggs. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of good quality vanilla extract. This is a simple cake, so you want to use the best ingredients possible. And I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of coconut extract. I'll just beat those up together. When you get all your ingredients pre-assembled like this and pre-measured ready to go, it actually makes baking really fast. Okay, so now we'll go on, and you'll need an electric mixer for this part. So in the electric mixer, I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter, and that's equal to half a stick. And I'm going to beat that with 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. So just beat that till it's nice and creamy. Okay, now I'm going to add in our egg and flavoring mixture. Beat that. Now I'll add 1/3 of our flour mixture. And then half of the buttermilk. Then another 1/3 of the flour. And the rest of the buttermilk, and then the last of the flour. And just beat that till it's well combined. I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. And that's it. Now we're going to spread the batter in our prepared pan. And smooth it out in the pan. We're going to bake this at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until a tester comes out clean. Okay, so I'll pop the cake in the oven, and I'll show it to you when it's done, and then we'll go on and make the frosting. Okay, the cake is done. Tester comes out clean. It smells really good. Now don't turn your oven off just yet. Turn it down to 300 degrees, and we're going to toast some coconut. I've got 1/2 a cup of sweetened shredded coconut, and I'm just going to spread it out on a baking dish. I'm going to cook it at the 300 for about 10 minutes, stirring it occasionally until it's a mix of caramel brown and white. And that's going to garnish our cake. So I'll put this in the oven for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to let the cake cool completely. Okay, it's been 10 minutes and the coconut is nicely toasted. Just a little bit of brown and white in there. At this point, you can also remove the cake from the pan and let it cool completely on the rack. And once it's cool, we'll continue on and frost the cake. Now we're going to go ahead and make the frosting for this coconut cake. This is a saucepan with about 1 inch of water in it, and I've got a double boiler top for it. And in the pan, I've got 2 egg whites. I'm going to add in 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 4 tablespoons of water, and 1 teaspoon of white corn syrup. And I'm going to beat that with an electric hand mixer for 7 minutes until it's nice and light and fluffy. Okay, it's been 7 minutes and it's quite thick. I've removed it from the heat. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/8 of a teaspoon of the coconut extract. And just continue beating that until it's thick, so about another minute. There you can see it's nice and thick. So it's best if you make this right before you're ready to spread it on the cake, but you can make it in advance and put it in the fridge for an hour or two covered until you're ready to proceed. Okay, let's assemble the cake. First thing you want to do is cut it horizontally with a serrated knife in half to get the 2 layers. The easiest way to do that is do half first, turn it around, and do the other half and kind of meet in the middle. Then you can carefully lift off the top. Put that aside. And I'll put the bottom layer on my cake plate. And I'm going to spread about a cup of the frosting in the middle, maybe a little more. Just spread that around. And now I'll top it with the other piece of cake. And spread the rest of the frosting on the top. And just smooth that out on the top and the sides of the cake. So as you can see, it's kind of a thin cake, but it's really, really tasty if you like the flavor of coconut. Okay. And now I'm just going to simply sprinkle my toasted coconut all over the cake. Looks really pretty. You could do a little bit on the sides too, if you can get it to stick. Thanks for watching, and I hope you try some Weight Watchers coconut cake very soon.